Hi, my name is Kate Cohn and I am a CRS major. Today I am here with Alex Kline to interview him about whether college athletes should be paid or not. Hi Alex, how are you?
I'm doing well, Kate. How's everything?
Good. Thank you for coming here today.
Glad to be here.
Alright, so can you tell me exactly what do you do?
I'm a recruiting analyst with Rivals.com, and I run a charity basketball event, the Mary Clyde Classic. And through all of this, I've been able to garner and gain a lot of different relationships in the youth basketball industry, through high school coaches, AAU coaches, college coaches, agents, high school and college and professional players, and really everyone involved in the process when it comes to recruiting, high school, college, the draft process, the professional process, as well as everything that goes on around that.
Can you tell me what the process is like for a high school athlete that is getting recruited by a Division I school like Syracuse, UConn, Duke?
So typically a recruit will start receiving mail when they're freshman or sophomore, sometimes later, sometimes earlier, depending on their situation. From there, that school will usually go to their workouts in high school, see them on the AAU circuit during the spring and the summer, and they can reach out, the college coaches can reach out to their AAU or high school coach, and that's the best way to make contact. College coaches aren't legally allowed to make direct contact with the players until the end of their sophomore year on June 15th. From there, that's when you've got unlimited contact between the two parties. That's when a lot of visits begin to happen where colleges will host high school players on their campus, typically unofficial. From there, the athlete will start to get a feel for where he or she is being recruited the hardest and kind of narrow down that focus. Once junior year comes along and they've taken their SAT or ACT and they're in good academic standing, halfway through the junior year they can begin taking an official visit as opposed to an unofficial. Unofficial is where they come onto campus and pay for everything as opposed to the college. Official is where the college will fly you and your family out and take care of all the expenses, including hotel and food. Usually, a student athlete then decides, the end of their junior year, beginning of their senior year, where they want to go. They'll verbally commit to the school, and then either in the fall or spring, sign their letter of intent and go from there.
Now, can you tell me what your role is with these high school athletes when they're searching for scholarships?
My role is to kind of be the middleman, almost agent zero in a way, because I am connecting the two other parts of the triangle, which are the college coaches, which are looking for these athletes, and the student athletes who are looking for the colleges and the scholarships. And by watching these guys play, it gives them a great chance to gain exposure online, social media, digital media, as well as word of mouth when speaking to these coaches, and they'll ask about the player's character, what they do well on the court, what level they are, etc., etc. And from there you just connect them. And that's kind of my role, as well as getting to know the staffs, informing the players and their families of, what the background is on each of these coaches. Some have good reputations, some don't, and vice versa. So it's really playing the role of just kind of assisting everyone and making sure it's the right decision and the right fit. Sometimes you can control that, other times you can't.
Now, since you are assisting these young athletes, have you worked with what's your range of socioeconomically majority, I guess I'm asking?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of different people who come from a lot of different socioeconomic backgrounds. I think the common misperception is that all certain student athletes are poor compared to others. So obviously in baseball, everyone thinks, they have money. Football, it's a variety. Everything else. That I specifically focus in basketball, where the misconception is that all basketball players are poor. That's not true at all. There are some that come from tough upbringings, but for the most part, they have a good situation to some extent. Some come from two-parent homes, one-parent homes. Some live with a guardian or a grandparent, something of that nature. And it's really tough for some of these guys to gain the same, attention or exposure. You're not Not all of them are going to be able to travel to, certain tournaments and certain events with their own money. Not all of them are going to be able to travel to these colleges for unofficial visits where they have to pay for everything. Some can't afford private tutoring. Some need a prep school, and some need postgraduate year just to work on their academics. So I work with a ton of different ones. Obviously, some situations are better than others, but just because there are kids and families that have some socioeconomic problems doesn't necessarily mean they don't have a chance to, make it. There are many who do, and that's kind of the fun behind it, to see some of these guys be put in a great position and, eventually make it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, when a college is recruiting an athlete, and I'm sure the family as well, because the family, I'm sure, plays a role, what do they do to draw the athlete in so that they're coming to Syracuse University?
The biggest thing is just, one, identifying that they really want that player. Two, making sure the player, their coach, and their family feel as if they are a true priority. And then three, giving their sales pitch. Playing time, coaching style, playing style, history of pros, academics, location. It all depends what they think that player and that family want. And it really varies on the school. Say you're looking at Princeton, you're not really looking to become a professional basketball player. You're more so focusing on the academic side. They're going to sell you there. Say you're looking at Syracuse, though, you're looking at the system with the 2-3 zone. You're looking at potentially being a professional basketball player. So all of that factors into it, and how the coaches will quote unquote sell the families, the players, and their coaches on the school.
Now, my biggest question for you is, what's your opinion on whether student athletes should be paid?
I do not believe they should be paid. I think if you begin paying them, then it legalizes something that can become more corrupt than it already is. Already there are deals under the table between colleges, between shoe companies, between agents that influence the college decisions of a lot of these top players. And while it's not everyone, it's a good amount of players who unfortunately, are kind of manipulated by the situation. So say there was, a form of payment, how does that work from there? Is it just basketball and football teams getting that? Is it, does the quarterback make more than the safety? What happens to women's sports? Do they get it as well? It would just become nuts. As far as, football and basketball, where a lot of players do receive some payments, the issue then becomes, say a kid is getting, or say the kid's family is getting $100,000 on the side from donors. What happens when everyone's getting $100,000 total? Then are we giving them $200,000? $300,000, that's when it just becomes a bit excessive. So I think right now the system is kind of iffy, and there's no real perfect way of doing it, but adding more money into it would be a little messy. Obviously the athletic departments are wreaking havoc when it comes to benefiting from the use of their names and the way they perform on the field and on the court, but there's got to be a better way of doing it directly paying the athletes.
Thank you for watching. Thank you, Alex, and we will return.